Hi, well, we are very honored to have Dr. Shanea Clancy. Shanea is the suicide prevention coordinator for the Butler VA. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Okay, I did. Cool. Well, first, I just want to say thank you for coming on and thank you for talking about a very serious matter, right? And we're talking about veteran suicide and suicide, right? So let's start off with, how did you get involved in this field?
That's a great question. Passion, actually.
Passion.
So, through personal and just seeing society around me, things like that. I took a track of nursing and really loved the mental health side of things, the substance use, addiction things, and actually did my master's in forensic nursing because I wanted to educate myself more. And whenever 2020 hit, this position opened. My predecessor had moved on to the VISN. And I knew that I needed to apply to be able to continue making changes and serving the veteran population at this point with COVID and mental health really increasing at that time.
Absolutely. So you've been in this work since 2020?
So actually, I've been in this entire field since 2012, but working in this role since 2020. Yes.
Okay. Wow. And absolutely, mental health and mental health subject is something that's on the minds of everybody. I know as a professor teaching my students in college, how often do they give a speech related to this subject because it's something that they've experienced, whether personally or within their families. So describe your role, your function at the VA.
Sure. So I am one of 4 people on our suicide prevention team. I'm the team lead, but we have a case manager, we have a reach back coordinator, and we have somebody that works to establish partnerships within the community. So what does that all mean? We really work hard to track and trend data of potentially vulnerable veterans who might be at risk for suicide, and work directly with those who are high risk for suicide to make sure that they're streamlined to the appropriate level of care.
All right. So I think this would be good for everybody to know. People can call you directly. If I'm a veteran and I feel like I'm in crisis, who do I call? What do I do?
So the Veteran Crisis Line is your number 1 go-to, and that is 988, and then you press 1. So that number has kind of changed. Some people still might know the 1-800 number that's been around for a long time, the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. Last July, that kicked off to be 988. And then when you press 1, it goes to the Veteran Crisis Line. From there, it's streamlined to the local facility, and then we can follow up from there.
Okay. And as we were talking about earlier, before our interview actually started, that line is available to other people too.
It is. And a lot of people don't realize that. So you do not have to be a veteran to call the Veteran Crisis Line for a veteran. You can be family, friend, coworker, anybody. You can call if you're concerned about a veteran, and then the process takes on from there. Takes
action, and let's see what kind of help we can provide.
Yes.
And once you are starting to work with a veteran, what type of supports do you offer during the process, and describe that a little bit?
Sure. So we get calls that's not only focused on mental health, we get housing, substance use, access to care. And so things that we have to offer, we have the homeless team if there's housing concerns. We have the primary care social worker if there's food concerns, money concerns, financial stability. We also have evidence-based practice, people who are trained in those modalities to provide that evidence-based therapy, as well as medication management. If needed, hospitalization, but we really try to keep our folks outpatient. As long as as long as that's appropriate.
Employment, connecting them to employment, I think would be probably something you offer also.
Yes, we do. We have a voc rehab coordinator, and then we also have a veterans justice outreach team who works with veterans who are facing criminal charges, and they advocate through Veterans Court for them as well. So sometimes somebody might be high risk for suicide going through all those different processes, but we have folks in place to help.
Wow, that's a lot happening and a lot of good work that we're doing for the veterans. Now, we had talked earlier that there are different classes or opportunities. Shanea is available to come and actually do programs and workshops. Can you describe that?
I am, sure. So I offer the VA SAVE training, which is kind of Information on signs to look for, resources, who you would call and kind of that process, as well as lethal means training safety.
Okay.
And so those classes usually about an hour. I can do them in person or virtual, and I can come to any entity to offer those as well.
And I know that Butler County Community College has hosted that.
Yes.
We had one at fall in the main campus and virtually,
Mhm.
and then something that's happening in the spring at Cranberry. Did that already happen?
No, so it's March 30th and April 4th.
Okay.
Those are two upcoming workshops that all you have to do is register. The classes are free. And then I'm also hosting a session on the 27th at the Slippery Rock Municipal Building at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
So those are three that are on the horizon that
Oh.
anybody can come to.
Yeah. Well, you're so passionate about helping veterans. And on behalf of Armstrong, all of us, Butler County, we are so thankful for the work that you and your team are doing.
It's an honor to be
Yes.
able to serve those who served us for sure.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Thank you. Thanks for watching this episode of the Butler Buzz. If you want to see more, just click on the playlist button up here. To keep up to date with all of Armstrong Neighborhood Channel, click on the subscribe button down here. Hey, I suggest you do both. See you next time.